Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. And happy September! I'm so excited that it's a new month because that means there are new financial goals to crush. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about bad money habits that are making you broke in 2020. Something that I want to mention really quick before we jump into today's video is that the purpose of this video is not to shame anybody. It's not to make anyone feel bad about their relationship with money or the habits that they currently have when it comes to money. Every single person has things that they're doing really well with when it comes to money and things that they can improve upon, and I am no exception. I have bad money habits, I have good money habits, and I'm sure you are the same. So I just wanted to make sure to let you guys know that I don't want you to go away from this video feeling bad. I know you guys are doing awesome with your money, and there are always things that we can improve upon. So the very first bad money habit that I want to talk about that may be keeping you broke in 2020 is spending money that you don't have. Now, how do you spend money that you don't actually have in your bank account? The easy answer is credit cards, and it is so easy when you have a balance of a few $1,000s on your credit card to swipe that credit card, pay for something that you don't physically have the money for in your bank account. Over the last year or so, I have been so strict with myself to only spend money that I already have in my bank account. Even if I know the money will be in my bank account when payday comes the next week, I will make sure that I wait until that money is physically in my account before I put anything on my credit card. Because I think what happens is that people get stuck in a cycle of constantly putting money on their credit card. So then when they get paid again, they have to put all of that money onto their credit card. They have no money left, so they have to keep using that credit card, and then the interest piles up and they're not able to make full payments. And as you guys can see, it becomes a constant cycle of being in debt and never being able to catch up. So I know there's some people in the personal finance space that do not support credit card use whatsoever, and they say that you should never use a credit card because it's so easy for you to get in debt when you're using a credit card. But I am actually a big supporter of credit cards. I think that they're really great if they're used responsibly. I really like the points that I get on my credit card. So I do put things on my credit card, but like I said, I always make sure that I have that money in my bank account so that I can move it over to my credit card right away. Another bad money habit that's making you broke in 2020 is relying on spending as your primary source of happiness. I think when people have problems with overspending, they're not able to find happiness in everyday things that they already have. So they feel like they have to go out and purchase material items to feel that same level of happiness that other people can feel just by spending time at home with their friends and their family and doing things outdoors that are free. I think needing immediate gratification in life is another bad money habit that's making you broke in 2020. It's true that money can buy you happiness, but money can buy you so much more happiness if you're able to save up for big things that are gonna actually make a big difference in your life, such as education or travel opportunities. Maybe you wanna buy a nice, comfortable house for you and your family. So when you put effort into saving for big things that are going to be probably a few years down the road, you are delaying that gratification, but when it finally does come, it's gonna feel so good. So I think when it comes to money and financial goals, you have to be dedicated and you have to be disciplined in order to create a life for yourself financially that's gonna be comfortable and that's gonna make you happy. Another bad money habit that I wanna talk about is not having financial goals. And I'll tell you why financial goals are so important. And it's because it gives you something to work towards, something that you think about every single day when you wake up in the morning, that you are putting all of your effort towards, that will make you happy and make you comfortable in the future. So for example, the goal that I'm currently working on is paying off all of my debt. And then I'm gonna move on to saving up for a down payment for a house for Aaron and I and our future family. So when you don't have financial goals, it's really easy to spend frivolously because you don't have a goal in mind. You don't have any reason to save money. You really need to know your why. Why are you saving money? Why are you working so hard to save this money? And what are you working towards? When you have a goal in mind, it's going to be so much easier for you to stay on track because you can always go back in your mind and think about how good it will feel when you actually achieve that financial goal and how your life will change when you achieve that goal. Another bad money habit that I want to talk about in this video is not having an emergency fund. So I'm totally cool with being 100% open with you guys. Currently, Erin and I have an emergency fund of $2,000, and depending on your lifestyle, that might seem high or it might seem low. So obviously $2,000 is not enough to cover our monthly expenses if both of us were to lose our jobs. And that's why I want to build up that money a little bit more so that if we were to lose all of our income, we would be able to survive for a little bit longer until we were able to find new jobs or new sources of income. But I think why an emergency fund is so important is because you are prepared for anything, no matter what happens in your life. And life is unpredictable. There are always going to be things that come up that you have to pay for. And that's why an emergency fund is so important. So for example, if you don't have any money left over that you can use for emergencies, say your car breaks down or your pet has to go to the vet and there's a big hefty vet bill that you have to pay, you have to put that money on a credit card if you don't already have it in savings. And then you are now in debt and you have to work towards paying off that debt while you're trying to reach all of your other financial goals and while you're trying to pay off your regular monthly bills. So it's really helpful to have an emergency fund so that you're prepared for anything. And if you do have to dip into that money and use it, it doesn't put you back in life. You're not in debt. You have the money that you can pay and you can just move on and then keep adding little bits to your emergency fund to replenish it as the time goes on. Another bad money habit that I think a lot of us fall victim to is spending money to impress other people. I think it's really easy to fall into that trap of spending just to impress our friends and our family members. And it's really easy when we see our friends buying certain things for us to want those things for ourselves too. We see those material items bringing them happiness and we want to be able to take part and show them that we're worthy enough too, that we can buy the same things that they can buy. But I think it just comes back to being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable with your own financial goals and what you are working towards. I used to be a lot more interested in keeping up with all of the latest trends and new things, but now that I know what I'm working towards and how good it feels to have money in my bank account as opposed to having it all sunk into material things, I'm okay with not spending money to keep up with the purchases that my friends and family have. Another bad money habit that's definitely keeping you broke in 2020 is not making meals at home and relying on restaurants and takeout for food. So for example, if you're spending $15 a day on food, whether that's going out for lunch at work or swinging by a restaurant after work for dinner, that's $105 a week, which works out to be $420 a month. That's a whole lot of extra money being spent on food when you could be spending this money on meals at home and saving a ton. And I think sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that fast food is not a big deal, it's super cheap, it doesn't matter if we go out to eat fast food a couple times a week. But honestly, fast food isn't even super cheap anymore. Like if you go to McDonald's or Wendy's and you get a meal, it's almost like $12 or $13. So even going out for fast food can really add up. I should also mention that when I refer to money and prices of things in videos, I am Canadian, so that's why it might seem like my prices are a little bit higher because I know in the US things are generally a lot cheaper, so maybe your fast food options are a lot cheaper than they are in Canada. Another bad money habit that is keeping you broke in 2020 might be a little bit contradictory to the theme of this video, but that is constantly thinking about and talking about how broke you are. I think everybody has struggles when it comes to money, and money is not unique to any one individual. We all have to work with money, we all have bills to pay, and I'm a firm believer that we create our own realities. So if you are thinking on the positive side, you're wondering how you're gonna make more money, you're being creative, and you're trying your best to save, you are gonna come out on top and you're gonna be able to create a better financial reality for yourself. But if you're constantly looking at yourself as the victim, you're constantly wondering like, oh, poor me, like why am I always so broke? More than likely, you're gonna stay broke because you're focusing on the lack of money rather than the abundance of money that you can acquire in your life. So it takes a lot of hard work, determination, and creativity in order to come out on top when it comes to finances, but I know you can do it. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you liked it and that it gave you some inspiration to maybe change some of your financial habits for the rest of 2020. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also hit the red subscribe button so that you can join our YouTube family. Down below, I have some of my older videos, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, my Instagram account. All of that stuff is linked down below so that you can follow me on other parts of the internet, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!